Alright, so you got yourself a box of guardsmen. By the way, 501st Spartan here, and this is going to be how to implement your Imperial Guard Codex with the tactics. So, this is a Tactica video on the whole Imperial Guard army, and I'm just going to introduce you to what you have available, basically. So, speaking of having available stuff, by the way, these are not 501st Guardsmen, by the way. These are just Guardsmen that I got for free from a friend. So, I'm glad I got them, and, well, they're there for fluff purposes. So, for fluff games, I will use them. For everything else, I will not. So, here we go. Well, you have a box of Guardsmen already. And you decide, okay, what's next, and what can I implement in my Imperial Guard army? Now, I'm going to give you all the things that you can do. Now, I'm going to show you first, starting with your troop choices and infantry. So, the first thing I would always suggest is, how many men do you want to send into battle? If you want to send hundreds, if you just want to send a few, that depends on your way how to on your own tactics. This is the first tactic that I suggest Imperial Guard has, which is swarming. You will swarm the field with hundreds of guardsmen. That's the maximum. You could swarm the field with hundreds of guardsmen. How? Is by their troop choices. The troop choice of the Imperial Guard platoon. Now the platoons are, you have to, and they will be, I'll probably review them specifically, the platoon as a whole, but the platoon requires a command squad for themselves and at least 2 guardsmen squad, and that holds at least 1 troop's choice on your force organization chart. So, and you could go up to 6 of them if I'm correct. Yeah. You could go to a 5 squads of guardsmen. So you could have 50 guardsmen and 1 command squad in 1 troop's choice. That's a lot. And the funny thing is that, oh wait, I'll talk about the guardsmen in a different video. But my point here being, you could choose to swarm your opponent with guardsmen, with lots of men. I know it's a lot of money, honestly. Remember, each one of these guardsmen squad is like $27. It may go up because of an update coming soon. And yeah, it's pretty scary to go up against 50 guardsmen, 100 guardsmen, even up to 600 guardsmen. You could run 600 guardsmen in a normal force org chart, which is insane. Now, if you run all 600, oh my god, you must have a lot of money, or you got a bargain from somebody. So, it is good. It's one way how to play Imperial Guard. Just spam the field with guardsmen. That's one thing. It's a weird strategy, but sometimes it works. Now, I'm gonna go with the other strategy. The second strategy is the tank support. You could go a little bit more vehicle friendly by running like in what I do is I run veterans, and veteran guards are, well, I'll talk about veteran guards for later, but veteran guard are just 1 force org. They take 1 force org. Instead of having 50 men, you have 1 squad of 10. So it is different. Your numbers will diminish, and you will have less troops. So, just letting you know in advance. That's how it works for using veterans. Now, for the tanks, this is the way. You don't have to go full on 9 Lehman Russes, or yeah, you don't have to go all 9 Lehman Russes. You could have a little bit of combination. I would say run at least 2 Lehman Russes if you're going for a little bit more tank heavy list. Depends on your list. If you're going for more tank heavy, more vehicle heavy, run tanks. Run at least 2 Lehman Russes. The best combos for Leman Russes is you have to run them in either a squad of 2s or individually. Now, if you're gonna run them individually, I would say 1250 points would be the maximum to run them one by one. And if you're playing a bigger game than 1250, run 2 of them per squad at least, at minimum, because that way they do not score either first blood or they do not score a point by blowing just one of your tanks. So that's what I suggest for that one. The Manticore, unfortunately, it takes its own heavy support slot, so you gotta protect it. However, artillery is a really good way to go as well. If you're gonna run with tanks and you have a few guardsmen, or at least one platoon, a platoon and squad of veterans, and then you have everything else as tanks, what you do is you have to have at least an artillery. An artillery is, in my favorite now, I tried it now, the Manticore. The Manticore is a beast. I will have my own review about each and every single one of these units, even the Baneblade. And this is what you could do now. In escalation, thankfully, this is basically a normal game now. You can run a Lord of War, aka a Super Heavy. And the Super Heavy that would not piss off everyone, but it looks intimidating as hell, I would say is the Baneblade. Why? Because it has a lot of weapons to use and shoot. So you will have a really fun time using the Baneblade. Keep in mind though, it could get destroyed. Last game, which I kind of lost against 2 Chaos players, my Baneblade died terribly. It got shot to death by Forge Fiends. So, oh well. I don't mind. It was fun. It was a fun game. I had fun, and yeah, a lot of my men died. So, but yeah, this is the second way to go. This is the second tactic if you want to focus more on your tanks. This is basically this is as much as I have for tanks. And I'll show you what I do in a few minutes. And the third thing is the third tactics, the aerial squads, aka your Vendettas or Valkyries. Now, if you're gonna run a Vendetta or Valkyrie heavy list, I would say that what I'm saying right now is if you're running 9 flyers, basically, 3 per squad, I would say you run the following. I say run 1 squad of Valkyries, and 2 squads of Vendettas. Why? You have 9 last cannons per Vendetta. No, per Vendetta squad. They're all twin linked, and they will fire at the same target. Like if you're going up against Lord of Wars nowadays, now is a good time to run a squad of Vendettas. If you're gonna run a flyer list, you run also minimum amount of guards. Veterans, in my opinion, are the best way to go. That way, you have more points on your Valkyries, because Valkyries will consume more of your points than your Vendettas will. Your Vendettas already come in prepared to battle. You don't need to upgrade them. Valkyries, however, you will have to upgrade them to rocket pods, so that way you have infantry killers and the beautiful tank killer. So it's pretty balanced, I guess, but keep in notice, they will not come in turn 1. So if you have like problems in the beginning of in turn 1, what you have to do is you got to make sure you're not gonna get tabled. That's one thing. As long as these guys come in the field, you're good to go. But yeah. And you have your other miscellaneous stuff that you could run, and these are mostly for fun. Nowadays, Chimeras are kind of bad, and Sentinels are kind of bad as well. But if you are having fun or you want to have fun, I would say you could run some of these. Chimeras are fun to use. Sentinels are really fun to use, especially Armor Sentinels. If you ask me, in my opinion, Armor Sentinels are the way to go compared to the Scout Sentinel. Sure, the Scout Sentinel you have, what's his name? Oh yeah, you have a Scout ability. But the Armor Sentinel at least gives you a 12 front, and it's no longer open top. So if you go in forward with these things, they will pressure your opponent to kill them, but you will do a little bit of damage as well. So it balances out. I've seen my Sentinels, every time I run them, they at least make their points back. So it's pretty good. I'm not ashamed of saying, but I like Sentinels. But yeah. Anyways, but those are my options, and those are the three options: air, big tanks, and infantry. Now, if you want to mix them all, this is what I say. You have this amount of tanks, at least to get your heavy support slots filled or covered. If you want to have them covered, I would suggest the first thing in your list, get these things first. Cover those first before putting your infantry and putting your flyers. Your land vehicles are the way to go, because they're the most expensive in terms of points, and you could add or remove stuff from there. Now the next one that I choose is I choose a combination of these two. I choose enough tanks to wipe my opponent's infantry out, hit them where they need to be hit in objectives, and an intimidation factor with a Baneblade. Next thing, vendettas. Anything. I run 3 vendettas in 2 or 3 different slots on my foresword. I say vendettas are the way to go rather than the other fast attack choices. They're fast. They will come in turn 2, however, but they will wipe out your opponent's vehicles, or at least hit them hard, so that way they wouldn't get crew shaken or crew stunned. So that's the way to go. I run 3 vendettas, and yeah, you could run 2 to 3 vendettas as well. And then when the infantry is the last thing I focus on. Why? Because you could have, they're cheap. Even 70 points for a squad of guardsmen it's okay. It's only like 2 extra points than the regular guardsman for a ballistic skill of 4, and a better variety of options you could give them. If I'm playing a big game, like let's say 3,500 points, no, like an apocalypse game, I would just give them all carapace armor. I would just run plenty of veterans. You will run plenty of veterans. You would not, you will have no fear of going up against big things, because you could give them the special sergeants, which I will talk about later. But if you have enough points to run a platoon squad, I would say you run them. Why? Because the platoon, you want them as your big scoring unit, and you want them to have like a big blob of guardsmen to hold that objective. So if they will be pretty difficult to kill, especially if you have a command squad nearby there, a platoon command squad nearby, and they'll be like, nope, you guys shoot like extra few times and all that stuff. So yeah. And now, if you want to combine all this crap, your command squads, what you need to do is you got to use your orders appropriately. If you do not, then yeah, I don't know what to tell you. But I will be talking about the HQs next, and this is just my quick opinion on what do I do with the options that I've been given by the Imperial Guard Codex. So this is the way how I see it. So if you like it, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and see what's next. The next thing for my Imperial Guard reviews will be the command squad itself, and the command squad, and probably the Lord Commissar. Those are the 2 that I will cover next. Right, so I'll see you guys in the next video.